hello, and good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are right now. It is day 25 of a Proverb A day, which means it is May 25th. So, hello, everybody. I'm in the book really early this morning. It is 5:51, and it's fresh on my mind, it's fresh on my heart, and it honestly told me a lot about myself. And I think that's one of the beautiful things that I've been learning since reading Proverbs is it's really showing me things in me that are not like God. And it's tough. It's tough. It's tough sometimes, but I know that God is always with me and God is growing me and stretching me and getting me through it. So I'm very grateful. If you are not sure what this is your first time ever seeing my face, hello, my name is Claudia, and we are doing a proverb a day for 31 days. So we're just reading the book of Proverbs in the Bible. If this is your first time seeing it, it's 2097. Just grab a Bible. The word is still the same. So we're going to get started. Verse 1 of chapter 25. These are also Proverbs of Solomon, which the men of Hezekiah, king of Judah, copied out. It is the glory of God to conceal a thing, but the honor of kings is to search out a matter. The heaven for height and the earth for depth, and the heart of kings is unsearchable. Take away the dross from the silver, and there shall come forth a vessel of the finer. Take away the wicked from before the king, and his throne shall be established in righteousness. Put not forth thyself in the presence of the king, and stand not in the place of great men. For it is better to be said unto thee, Come up hither, than thou shouldest be put lower in the presence of the prince whom thine eyes have seen. And so basically, don't get entitled is what I'm getting from that. It's basically saying, like, don't be like, hey, look, king, I'm here. Prince, I'm right here. Like, pick me. What is it? Is it Shrek? I think it's like Shrek 2, whenever it's the happily ever after scene, and Donkey's like, oh, me, oh, me. Like, don't be that person, okay? Don't be that person. So give yourself a chance to be noticed. And when it is your time, please know, trust, and believe that God is going to exalt you. When it is your time, God is going to make sure that you are seen and that you are known. But it is going to happen in due time. So, just take it a second at a time. Just take it a second at a time out here, okay? 8, go not forth hastily to strive, lest thou know not what to do in the end thereof, when thy neighbor have put thee to shame. Debate thy cause with thy neighbor himself, and discover not a secret to another. And so I just wrote, if you have a problem, talk to that person about it. And you don't have to go and tell everybody else the conversation that y'all had. You don't have to go and tell everybody else, what demons they might have been battling with that made them behave that way. And you don't have to go and say what demons it's your demon, so you can share that. But, like, they don't have to share your demons with other people, So, if you have an issue with somebody, take that to that person. That is literally the only way that it will be solved, is taking it to God and taking it to that person. And if you take it to God, if you give it to God, give it to God. If God tells you, hey, go talk to that person about it, don't be proud. Go talk to that person about it. Don't hold unforgiveness in your heart. Don't let your heart turn stony. Don't let your heart turn cold. Don't do that. That is a very, very slippery slope, okay? So if you got a problem, talk about it. 10, lest he that heareth it put thee to shame, and thine infamy turn not away. A word fittily spoken is like apples of gold in pictures of silver. As an earring of gold and an ornament of fine gold, so is a wise reprover upon an obedient ear. I think it was the Contemporary English Version, was basically saying that good advice is worth more than jewelry. 13, as the cold of snow in the time of harvest, so is a faithful messenger to them that send him, for he refresheth the soul of his masters. 14, whoso boasteth himself as a false gift is like clouds and wind without rain. By long forbearing is a prince persuaded, and a soft tongue breaketh the bone. So basically, we need to speak gently as people. Speaking to somebody with gentleness and with kindness is always gonna go over better than screaming at somebody and yelling at somebody or speaking at them with harshness. You can be talking to somebody in this range, they'll be saying really harsh things, and they are not going to take that well, just as you would not take that well. 16, hast thou found honey? Eat so much as is sufficient for thee, lest thou be filled therewith and vomit it. Withdraw thy foot from thy neighbor's house, lest he be weary of thee and so hate thee. You don't always have to be in everybody's face, is what I wrote down. And this, I feel like this was something that I needed to see and I needed to hear. I'm in this place and I'm in this transition where I'm trying to find community, and I don't have much community, and I'm okay with that. Like I'm okay with that, and I'm learning to be okay with that. And I had a really vulnerable moment. I had a really tough moment last night of just thinking about how I don't have the community that I once had. And I was mourning things of old, and that was tough. That was a really tough thing, but it's just really nice to see this, that, I don't always have to be in everybody's face. And like I said earlier, when the time comes, God is going to bless me with community and bless me with people who are on the same path that I am on, and bless me with people who are able to support and uplift, and I'll be able to do the same with them. And I'm learning to be a better friend and a better person in all of my relationships, in my romantic relationship, in my relationship with my parents, in my relationship with the friends that I do still have and that I do care very, very deeply for. And I'm just learning right now. I've said this multiple times. I believe that I'm in a season of learning to steward the things that I have well. And so I think that is just something that I just need to be grateful for what I have right now. I need to stop trying to it's okay to be content. It is okay to be content, because when the time comes, you will get the more. You don't need to be in a rush. We need to be patient, have a posture of patience, and be graceful in the waiting. So, yeah. Where am I? I'm on verse 18. A man that beareth false witness against his neighbor is a maul and a sword and a sharp arrow. Confidence in an unfaithful man in time of trouble is like a broken tooth and a foot out of joint. As he that taketh away a garment in cold weather, and as vinegar upon nitrate? Y'all, I don't know how to pronounce that word. I'm just keeping it a band, and I'm sure it's really simple, but I have not slept. So let's just blame it on that and keep it pushing. So is he that singeth songs to a heavy heart. If thine enemy be hungry, give him bread to eat. And if he be thirsty, give him water to drink. So we're still called to be kind even when we don't feel like it. We are still called to be kind people even when it hurts. Even when somebody has hurt our feelings, that does not mean we need to get nasty with them. Vengeance is not on us. God does not want us to be vengeful people. We are still called to love our neighbor like we love ourselves, okay? So, yeah. For thou shalt heap coals of fire upon his head, and the Lord shall reward thee. The north wind driveth away rain, so doth an angry countenance a backbiting tongue. It is better to dwell in the corner of a housetop than with a brawling woman in a wide house. As cold waters to a thirsty soul, so is good news from a far country. A righteous man falling down before the wicked is as a troubled fountain in a corrupt spring. It is not good to eat much honey, so for men to search their own glory is not glory. He that hath no rule over his spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. And so 27, don't go searching for praise. Don't be entitled. Look what I did. And that was something that I literally was like, oof, because I feel, and I believe that just because I've had this issue of feeling like I was never celebrated. I'm still searching on the root of that one, y'all. And so I do big things, but I don't feel like I present it to people as, okay, tell me I did a good job, looking for that acceptance or that reassurance. But I think I do it because I want to share, hey, like, look at this great thing that I did. Like, just look at what I've accomplished that I was not able to accomplish before, is how I've been looking at it. But I think even then, I need to just be like, I need to be okay with the fact that God got me there. And that is enough. Nobody else has to be excited about it until it's time for them to be excited about it. If God wanted me to broadcast all these things everywhere, God would have it broadcasted everywhere, you know? And then 28, if you don't have self-control, you're helpless. And that just reminds me of one of my favorite scriptures. God has not given me the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and sound mind. And in other translations, it says self-discipline, so self-control. And I said the other day, being a Christian, aiming to be Christ-like is a discipline, and it requires self-control. It requires you to be able to acknowledge when you are wrong. It requires you to be able to admit your faults. Even when you don't, like I was just saying, I didn't think that I was doing anything wrong, but even then, if I have to question it, let's just err on the side of that's probably wrong and I don't need to do it anymore. And so that's something that I'm definitely gonna have to be praying about. But yeah, so having self-control is really, really important. And it's one of the keys to being, to following all the laws. And when I say having self-control, I do not mean doing it in your own might and in your own strength, because we can't. So having self-control does not mean doing it ourselves. It is being disciplined enough and humble enough to admit we cannot do any of this by ourselves, and we need God. And we need God's help, and we need God's guidance. So that is all I have to say today, but I hope that you guys have an absolutely amazing day. Thank you all so much for watching, and y'all have a good one. Goodbye.